everyone, welcome to Chuck's Die-Cast Car and Model Reviews. Today we are taking a look at a car that basically needs no introduction. This is the Lamborghini Countach. This particular model is made by Kyosho, and it's one of the big ones here. This is the one in 1/12 scale, as you can see here. It's a good large one, and it's an excellent model. I actually have a Kyosho Countach in this same color in 1/18 scale, and I decided to get it in 1/12 scale because I mean it has so much presence, first of all, and second of all, I had this empty space on my 1/12 scale shelf that really desperately needed filling, so I just bought the Countach. Now I have no more room on my 1/12 scale shelf, and now I'm happy. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this particular Countach. So this is the LP400. So this is the first version of the Countach that came out. It was built from 1974 to 1978. It had a 3.9 liter V12 in it. The LP means longitudinale posteriore, meaning that the engine is mounted longitudinally. The V is mounted longitudinally, and it is located in the rear part of the vehicle, meaning posteriori, and it had about 375 horsepower. So I believe that Lamborghini touted this car as the fastest car in the world back in the day. It had a top speed of, I think, about 175 miles an hour with its 375 horsepower. These are all numbers that almost seem pedestrian nowadays. I mean, you can get like a BMW M3 and, it'll seat 4 people comfortably. It has more horsepower than this car and also has a top speed greater than this car as well. But in the 1970s, that was a big deal. So, this is, like I said, the first model of Countach. So this one is sort of the purest in design to the original design of Marcello Gandini of Bertone. It doesn't have the fender flares, as you can see. It doesn't have the side skirts, doesn't have the rear wing, doesn't have the air dam, all that sort of stuff. So it's very clean looking and very elegant in its own way. I mean, I like both this one and I guess you'd call it the all flared out version, but some people like one version better than the other. So let's go ahead and take a look at this model here. All right, now first of all, let's just go ahead and admire that profile there. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. I think this car was 42 inches tall, something like that, and they are pretty tough to get into. Believe me, I've done it once, and yeah, they're pretty tough. So you can see here that the detail here on the wheel and brake and tires are pretty nice here. The one thing is that the tires are unbranded, which is a little interesting, but you can see the caliper in there. You can see the brake rotor. This car probably have 15-inch wheels. I don't recall what size wheels they are, so you can see that they're pretty high-profile tires and actually much narrower than the later versions too. You can see here the Bertone badge there underneath the NACA duct. And there's some nice detail here in the vent there too. You can also see that there's a window there. I don't know exactly what that window is for. I don't know if you can see much out of there, but there is a window there. And of course, there's the half window that opens on the door itself there. Taking a look at the front. Detail here is excellent. This Lamborghini badge is an actual glued-on badge, and it is not a decal. Detailing here on the fog lights is great. Turn signals look really good. And also you've got this little button down under here which does this. That is, if I can get it to work. There you go. It pops up the headlights. So that's very, very cool. And the headlights look very nice as well. Okay, and actually look at the windshield wiper. That's actually really nice detail on the windshield wiper there too. The front trunk does open, although I really wouldn't call it a trunk because it doesn't really hold anything other than the spare tire and the brake fluid reservoir. But it is nicely detailed in there. Even the hood, the strut holding it up is very well done there too, so good for Kyosho on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of the vehicle. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at this part first. Notice this, I don't know what you call that, crease or whatever in the roof, and this black area here. What that is the original Countaches were designed to have a periscope right here. And in fact, this era of the Countach is known as the periscopo body style. It didn't work, so they put in a regular rear view mirror. And if you look in the rear window, you can see that rear view mirror. But if you're looking out the rear view mirror, you really can't see much of anything out back. So much so that when Countach owners are like backing their cars, out of a parking space or whatever, very often they'll just open the door, sit on the sill, and then look out, that way to get back out of the parking space. But anyway, taking a look more at the rear here, you can see very nice detail first on the quad exhaust. Okay, the other nice thing is that Lamborghini and the Countach aren't just decals. They actually do have texture to them, like a real badge. Tail lights look pretty good, although I've never really liked the tail lights on this car. They really just seemed sort of like a compromise. They weren't done as well as they probably could have been done. There is an opening trunk here, and although there's not much to see, I mean, you can see that there is storage space there. It is flocked in there, so that's good. And so it's a good representation of the trunk as much as there is a trunk on the Countach. Okay, and then we've got the motor. Let me see if I can bring it in a little bit closer for you and zoom in so you can see what all there is to offer in this engine. First of all, you'll see down here 2 coils, or 2 distributors, excuse me. I'm sure it actually probably has 2 coils too, but 2 distributors, and the plug wires coming from the distributors, and then you can also see the 6 dual carbs. I don't know if those are Webers or Delortos or whatever. I'm no carb expert. And of course later versions did have fuel injection. And you can also see here some ducting here that feeds the air filters that go into the carbs from the air ducts on the rear deck of the car. Valve covers look very nice with the Lamborghini name on there and the very sharp ribbing, so that all looks very nice. So definitely nice detail here in the engine bay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this interior here. There is actually a latch here that you have to press in. It is kind of fiddly a little bit, so there we go. So we'll go ahead and open the driver's side and the passenger side here. The driver's side is much more sticky than the passenger side, as you can see. But very, very cool. Nice view from here as well. I like it. Okay. So here's the interior. And I mean, this is one of the reasons why you get a car in 1/12 scale, to see all that detail in there. And that looks really excellent. I mean, the pedals look great. Dash looks great. Steering wheel as well. And you can see the shifter. It looks very good. And even behind the shifter is an ashtray. So that's very cool. Seats look very nice. The seat belts are fabric. The seat belt, I guess, I don't know what you call the part that the seat belt clicks into with the red button. That looks good. And so all of that looks great. Looking at the other side here, you can see again the center console here. Let's see if we can get you a good view in there. So yeah, that all looks fantastic. And the seats again look very nice, and the floor is flocked carpet there too. So all of that looks really, really nice. By the way, notice the gigantic sill that's that I mentioned the drivers sit on to get in, and it is, when you climb into one of these, it's really funky because I've never sat in a car before this anyway, where the seat was actually lower than the sill, so it's kind of like falling into a hole or something. It's pretty wild. But anyway, that is the Kyosho Lamborghini Countach in 1/12 scale. It is a fantastic model, and it is pricey, but if you can afford one, I definitely recommend you get one. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day.